Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of Wealthy Minds Decoded. My name is Minesh Bhindi, and
I'm just going to check this is recording.
it is recording. Can you not see the icon?
Well, yeah, but there's usually a little picture on the screen showing me it's recording. No, there's no.
It's just that. That's fine. So he's Andy Shaw, and welcome to another Swiss Watch episode of Wealthy Minds Decoded. What's good?
What's good? The good thing is
We're not
on the champagne tonight because our friend told us that we're not funny without the champagne.
Yeah, apparently it's all the champagne that does all the funniness in the show.
Exactly. His name's Mark Donnan. You may or may not have heard of him.
Probably not.
But anyone who does know him knows how absolutely hilarious.
I mean, he's just a funny guy. He's just the king.
He should be
funny.
doing stand-up. You know.
I mean, he's just funny to look at.
Yeah.
He's, you know.
You'll see pictures, lots of pictures of him in January on my Facebook with because he'll be on the cruise with me in January. But
with us,
yeah, with us. Yeah.
Remember, I'm going this time.
Yeah, it's going this time. This is good. Anyway,
where are we going? To Jamaica.
We are going to Cozumel in Mexico,
Right.
then off to Grand Cayman, and then off to Jamaica.
I feel like I should be more excited about this than I am, but I don't know why. And then we're spending some time in Florida with Jason.
Yeah.
And
so it should be a very good. This will be my third year I've gone on this marketers cruise, and it's just fantastic. If you ever get the chance to go, if you're ever interested in marketing, you should go on it. It's brilliant.
And he's dragging me on it this time too, so you'll see me there. Right. Okay. So we've got a pretty good show planned today. As you guys know, we've got a new structure. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at part one. What separates a wealthy mindset from a poor mindset? Because if you know the differences, then you can start to determine what actions you need to take. So Pete, we've got our guest director in again today.
Good evening, everybody.
Pete, what are we talking about in part one?
Well, tonight these pair of Muppets are going to be talking about a fixed mindset.
What about a fixed mindset?
What about a fixed mindset? Okay. This particular element of a fixed mindset we're going to discuss is when your programming won't allow you to accept a new reality. So, for example, if you, I had a friend of mine a long time ago when I first knew me before I made all my millions, and he used to really like me in my previous business, and we used to work together quite a lot and that sort of thing. He was in a similar type of business. And what happened?
And then you made all the money, you turned into an arsehole. Is that what you're saying?
Thank you for stating the obvious, but you know.
Try and keep the language.
The language cut down would be good.
I'm sorry.
I'm
from East London. I can't help it.
He's very young.
From the gutter. I would say that language is
Okay. As what happened was, I just started buying supercars. So I bought a Lamborghini, then I bought a Ferrari, then I bought another Ferrari, then I bought another Lamborghini, then I bought a Mercedes, then I bought, I don't know, another Ferrari, and it went like that.
And the Ford Orion.
Yeah. And basically what happened was, at each time this happened in a space of under a year, and at each time it was a case of I thought, I'd go and see him, go and meet him, and I'd either, this wasn't a conscious effort. But I just suddenly noticed that each meeting he wasn't seeing any progress. It was like, well, aren't you noticing all this extra money? Because he was saying, oh, you can't make any money doing what you're doing. And it was like I was turning up in a different Lamborghini or a different Ferrari and this sort of thing. And it was like I couldn't understand it because he was seeing all of this proof coming to him, but he wasn't actually changing. His perception was, you cannot make money doing that. Yet there was all these cars, and one day I said to him, just how many cars do I have to line up before you understand that it is possible to make money? At which point he went, actually, you're right. And that was the first time his mind was able to look at a different way of looking at things.
Different way of looking at things. I think the problem with how fixed mindsets are developed, I think, is when your peer group and the group people that you're around. Because the thing is, everything that everyone says, it's filtered with their opinions, their perceptions, their beliefs when it comes out of their mouth. This is, before it even hits your ears, it's gone through years and years of filtering, right? With all their experiences. So, all of these, when you start taking on people's opinions and you start listening to them, even counsel, when you start taking on people's counsel, it's just got the right filters put on top of it, right? it starts creating this mindset for you. If somebody says, you know, like your mum says, if you're gonna touch something that's hot, you'll get burnt. So you'll live the rest of your life believing that if you touch something that's hot, you will get burnt. And that's how fixed mindsets are created. And sometimes it takes a little nudge, like what's in NLP, it's called a pattern interrupt, to sort of kick you off that. And we have this all the time with investing. People can't see that they can make a consistent return. What they'll want and what they've been sold is the one-off big returns. They'll want the 100% this month, and they'll expect to lose a couple months, but they'll want the 100%. They'll want the 100%. And we have to pattern interrupt them with Goal for Life to make them understand that going for 2-3% per month over the long term.
The problem is that with that particular example, it's a case of they'll give up months and months and months, even years, 2% a month, chasing the 100%. That's one particular thing of a fixed mindset, because you can't see it. What my friend was doing, and what everybody should watch what they're doing, is you should question your assumptions. So it's a case of, this is all about the no thought stand still. So if a thought isn't helping you, it's hurting you. So this thought was, he was in a position, this particular friend of mine, he was in a position to capitalise on exactly the strategy I was using at the time. And but because of his mindset, couldn't accept that reality. He left literally millions of pounds on the table. So
the funny thing is, it was property, right? And it's not only you that was doing it; everyone was doing it. And even then, some people couldn't see that you could actually make money out of it, and that's
But this is the downside. So every it's a case of you've got to look at your mindset from your perceptions and think, well, is this perception helping me? Is this perception harming me? And it's when we unconsciously think like he was there, because his box was, it was fixed and there was no way he could see past this box. He was unable to see past it, and therefore he just literally left millions on the table. So, what you've got to look at is you've got to look at it as a case of somebody says something's working, and that's obviously wrong. Well, why are you rushing to judge? Why don't you have a look at it and slow down a little? This is another great thing. Rushing is wrong, but we'll cover that in a later episode. When you slow down a little and you actually look at it and go, well, is my thinking that this is rubbish helping me, or is it harming me?
And the way you do that is you simply say, is there enough proof to support the argument that my belief is bullshit, right? Because if there is enough proof, then clearly what you've been told and what you're thinking is not true, because the reality is different. And I think that's the best way. Every time I look at it, if I'm questioning a belief of mine, I look for all the proof that supports the opposite side of the belief. If that proof outweighs the proof that I have that the belief is negative, then it's obviously a stupid belief.
I work on everything from the point of view of, as far as I'm concerned, why do I need to believe or not believe in something? What is the benefit? So for me, it's a benefit. So let's take one of the big conspiracy theories. Did man walk on the moon, or was it faked?
I thought you were going to talk about aliens there.
I could talk about aliens, but let's talk about that. Right, okay. What do I need to decide for?
Who cares?
What benefit is there for me to decide if NASA was telling the truth or if they were lying? What benefit is there for me? The only way I could ever get absolute physical proof is if I flew up to the moon and I walked over to where the spaceship is supposed to be still standing there, and I went, yep, that's it. I could then go, I've got a decision because I've entered enough data. But what need would I ever have to do that? It's only our ego feeding our need to actually have a definitive answer. We don't need one. We can just go, well, does it matter? Now, on the other hand, do I need to know if I'm going to run out of petrol? Yes, because it has an effect. It's it's a benefit to me, but I don't need to know that.
I think the way the fixed mindset is created with all the previous knowledge that you've accumulated, whether that's through parents, teachers, seminars, whatever you've been on, you create a knowledge bank, and that's what you feed on to give you this mindset. And what you've got to realize is that all knowledge, I was thinking about this the other day, and I came up with a really good
I doubt that.
No, trust me, it's freaking awesome, right?
Trust. All right.
Really, it was a really good sum up of this. I was meditating and it just came to me, right? All knowledge is limited by the mind that holds it, right? So when you've got, see, there we go, right?
No, that was just me thinking about what you said without tearing it apart.
Okay, cool. So go on and tear it apart.
No. I was listening.
All right. Okay. Good. So, like I said, all knowledge is limited by the mind that holds it. Because if that mind has got X, Y, Z filters on top of it, then the knowledge, no matter how good the knowledge is, because how many people have got Rich Dad Poor Dad? How many people have got Think and Grow Rich? How many people have got your books? Right? People, all that knowledge is available, but until your mindset is open to taking that knowledge and using it, you're screwed.
Absolutely.
So I think that was a good discussion on fixed mindset. I think that was pretty good. So part 2, we're gonna talk about what can you do once you have a success mindset.
Over to Pete in the corner.
So, guys, you need to talk about the ability to create the right team.
Manifesting the right team. I think once you have a mindset that's not limited by, this is how things have to be, you will naturally start attracting the people to help you create the vision that you want to create. I think it's just natural.
Well, yeah, let's go back to my friend again there. It's a case of, because his mindset couldn't even conceive this possible reality, he cannot attract the right team. So what he's literally creating is he's creating a lot of people around him, with the possible exception of me, telling him that property doesn't work. And it was a case of, you cannot create the team that's going to help you get to anywhere you want to go until you have, an absolute faith. There's only 2 states, fear and faith, and you only have an absolute faith. You're just going to keep going until you get there. That's it. You've got to, once you've got that faith that you're going to get there, all of a sudden, things start falling into place. People start coming to you. It's a case of, you get an extraordinary number of coincidences where all of a sudden, guess what? I was, once I knew where I was going, and Napoleon Hill covered it in Think and Grow Rich, where he said, I think it was him who said it, where the universe conspires to help you. Or it might have been The Science of Getting Rich, but effectively that's what happens when you have a faith. When you go, I'm going there, and you go, you're going to carry on going until you get there. And when that happens, once you've made that irrevocable decision that you're going to carry on going until you get there, which is exactly the same thing as you do when you go on a journey to anywhere. I'm going to the shops, I'm going to Scotland, I'm going to America. You've made an irrevocable decision to get there. That's going to happen. So what happens is, how many times have you gone on a journey and failed to get there? There isn't many times, but how many times have you gone on a journey to become successful, set a goal, and then you failed at the goal? Countless times, because you haven't made an irrevocable decision. And once you've made that irrevocable decision, you can start to acquire the resources.
It's not just people.
No.
I mean, we're talking about teams today, because this is the other thing. Why do all unsuccessful people believe that success is something that they do on their own?
Yeah. All right. Let's take that apart for a second. You're bang on. Let's look at the Olympics. Do you think Usain Bolt won the Olympic gold medal on his own? Of course not. He had a coach. He had his parents supporting.
Doctors.
Maybe, I don't know. The doctors, everybody,
country,
the team he had behind him to make sure that he was there, ready. I mean, don't get me wrong. He had to put in the vast majority, but you can't do anything without a team. It's a case of, I wrote my books, but my wife spell checked them. My friend formatted them. He handled all the printing side of it. The printers did all that thing. The team we had around to get books printed and done is enormous, but you don't see that. It's a case of, people look at a book, Andy Shaw wrote the book. It's like, well, no, there was a team behind me that made it happen. And that's what you do when you've got a position where you're going to go from here to there. You've made an irrevocable decision to go and do it.
And you've also got rid of the limitations on your mindset, because suddenly you can start thinking fluidly, and you can start, adapting to certain situations, adapting to what's happening in the world, and adapting to what's coming at you. And that allows you to start sifting through. You start seeing the differences between people that are going to help you and people that are going to hinder you. It's so clear. Once you have got an open mindset and a fluid mindset, you will start noticing, this person is going to help me, this person is talking rubbish, and then you'll be able to differentiate between. I mean, isn't that clear for you? That's absolutely so clear for me.
Absolutely.
You know what? I think it is. I think Mark is right. I think we are talking much more sense. That we're not on the champagne. We're having less jokes, but we're talking much.
I've got to be honest, guys. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm on the right show.
Maybe the champagne was just a little bit over the top.
Who will ever know? No one. Right. So yeah, I think what you can do is get over the fact that it's just you. You know, get over the fact that it's just you. Yes, you set the vision, and that's very important, but you need a team to support you. And the only way you're going to attract that team is if you've got an open enough mindset to do it.
Yeah, you won't get there until you've made that decision. Because let's say you don't know where you want to go. You know, until you go, then
who's going to support? I don't get it. Why do people don't know where they want to? They don't know where they want to go, and then they expect people to support that vision. Yeah, that's just stupidity, isn't it?
Yeah. So trying to build a team to help you get where you want to go
when you don't know where you
want to go, it ain't going to work.
It's like from a relationship point of view, from a woman's point of view. Why would a woman want to be with a guy who has no idea where he wants to go, and he expects her to support her vision?
But from her point of view, she's just looking for the guy to spend her life with, right?
Yeah.
So, but she hasn't thought it through properly.
No.
You know.
So it's crazy. You need to open up your mindset, become much more fluid, and you will naturally attract the team. And it's not a one-man thing. I don't care how small of a company you've got. Even if you're a solo entrepreneur online, you still have the outsourced team. You still have the video production or whatever. You still have
the mentors you rely on.
Mentors you rely on. Products, designers, all that stuff. Right? At the end of the day, even customers. Because customers are still a part of your team.
Absolutely.
And if you don't open up your mindset and you think, oh no, this is how it must be, no. Because this is the thing though, right? If it was like that, if it was like how your mindset perceives it to be currently, you'd already be successful. Right? But in most cases, you're not at the level of success that you want. Therefore, you need a new mindset. As Einstein always says, the current level of thinking will not get us to the next point that we want to be at, So, yeah, I think you need to... Pete's looking at me like, move on. So, hold on, I need to do my...
2.5 hours on this subject.
So, right. So, I hope you guys pay attention to that. It's very important. Part number 3 is where we're going to talk about a case study. Remember, this is about where we... are going to dissect not people but people's mindsets, and if you if you can submit your case studies online to us, we will take them apart for you as well and help you with that. So what are we discussing in this part?
Well, you're absolutely correct, Minesh. We are going on to case studies in a moment, but I'd like you just to wind back the clock a bit because you finished that section very quickly. Slightly premature.
Well, when we feel we've discussed it. So what do you think we didn't discuss then?
I think you should actually go a little bit further into the right team, guys, because certainly I know you guys individually, and I know there are areas where you are experts, and there are areas where you pull in experts because everybody's aware of their limitations and their abilities. I think the people you're talking to need to be aware that it is not anything to be ashamed of to go to somebody else, another member, bring in experts to work with them.
Right, there's one of my favourite films of all time is Heartbreak Ridge, starring Clint Eastwood, and in there he said, "A man's got to know his limitations." Yeah, and it's never a truer word spoken. You've got to know your limitations. You've got to know where the line's drawn. It's a case of you can learn certain skills, but there's other things. It's a case of it's a waste of time learning those skills when you can go and get
huge waste of time.
You can go and get great people in to do it. At the moment, I thought for months on whether I could outsource people to create the video products I wanted to create, and I thought about it for months. I considered all the different implications of it, and finally, I decided that no, it's going to be better if I do it. But it's a case of I had to look at what my limitations on time and everything else would be to get that done. And with everything I do, I always look at my limitations as to what I can produce, what I'm prepared to produce as well. And it's a case of I don't beat myself up if I'm not prepared to do something or if I'm not capable to do something. It's a case of I just go out and find the team member that I need to find to help me do it.
It's like even though we're friends and mastermind partners and all the other stuff, it's like if you want to learn, like you're starting your gold investing, right? You're going to ask me what to do, and every time I need help with my mindset, I'm asking Andy, what do I do? What's missing? And even on that level, there's that team element, because at the end of the day, he's not going to be successful with gold investing unless fast enough, because you can go and find out anything yourself anyway, right?
Yeah.
unless I help him, and I'm not going to be successful fast enough because my mindset won't be able to change fast enough unless he gives his insights. And then we've got Pete, who does his.
Well, we don't really know what Pete does, but
no,
you know,
I mean, he makes us laugh, which is important in this world for people to laugh, right?
Yeah.
You know,
makes us laugh. Everyone's got to laugh.
Just to recap, guys, what you're actually saying is
Everyone needs a Pete.
focus on your expertise. Don't be afraid to bring in other experts to help you.
No way.
But at the end of the day, the goal is to achieve your goals, not to get hung up and worry about the team you're creating or the people you're involving, as long as you achieve your goals.
This is something that I was thinking about when I was driving up here. There's a quote that I read, but I can't remember the exact quote, and it's, you will get many more successes if you let other people take the credit for them.
Yeah. Don't get hung on taking all the credit. You know, I could have sat here and I could have gone, I wrote that book. It's a case of, no, there was a lot of people that went into writing that book. It's a case of, you don't need all the successes. When you can learn to let go of them and you don't need this, you haven't got this need for it to be you, then it's a lot easier. I much prefer to be a very, very small cog in the machine of the work I do. But it's a crucial cog, but I much prefer it to be very, very tiny, right? Because what I want the success, what I want the adulation, or what I want the problems that come with being the one person. I want an easy life.
I mean, I think even if you want to be the center of attention, you can still let other people take on. For example, somebody that, you know, I think about this, the music artist, the main way. When I look at Jay-Z, who's an inspiration to me, when he's looking at doing his concerts, for example, he teams up with the company that manages concerts. Now, yes, it's Jay-Z on stage, but how much effort from the company, from Live Nation, which is the concert company, goes into that whole production? It's crazy. But at the end of the day, he knows when he walks into that board meeting, they put the concert on, but he's on stage. And by letting go of that, he gets that.
Okay, guys, you're sort of labouring on that now, Minesh.
So we were doing it. It was too short.
And now it's too long.
Right.
Well,
okay.
This is why I'm here, guys.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Pete's direction.
So you've pretty much covered that point, and if there is anybody still watching, I'm sure they're ready for us to move on now. We want to have a look at a case study on a bad mindset. I think you're perfect to start us off with.
Right, so I think this is when... Is that all the notes you've given him? Just to say that?
That's all the notes I've given him. Right? Well,
Right,
I don't know. Maybe I can't remember.
Right, okay, so this is when we were talking about an industry that we both know very well, the internet marketing industry, and where we experience people who, because of their belief that they need to do it themselves, they'll hit a certain level of revenue and a certain level of business, and then they won't go any further than that because they don't have the fluid mindset to create the business. They think it's me in front of my laptop, and that's it. I have to do everything that's involved in that business to make it work. So what do you think about that? What do you think? What's the problem with internet marketers?
Well,
I think it's one of the industries with the highest failure rate.
yeah, it's
Right
a case
now.
of you've got the toolbox you have as a businessman is quite extensive. What the guys who get it right in internet marketing, in other words, they make enough money that there's no way they could ever work for somebody else again. Now that could be £20,000 if you're living in Africa, or it could be £2 million if you're living $2 million if you live in the States. The problem is, because they've got a mindset they've done it themselves, they literally hit a lid. Now it's a case of, so they're the flea in the jar. So the jar's got a lid on it, and they can only go that high. And what happens is, but because of the people they've seen around them, that they're right down here, that they now look at it, that this is it. Wow, I'm doing it. I'm living. But then they get to a point where they're stuck and they don't know how to free themselves, because they haven't got all of the tools that are the rounded set of tools that a businessman needs. The problem is, it's a case of they've got it right in a very, very narrow field, yeah, and so they're brilliant in that field. But to get your business to the next level, you've got to expand your your toolbox.
I actually disagree with it. I don't think they're brilliant in one field. I think what they are is very good in a number of fields. They're very good with copywriting. They're very good with video marketing. They're very good with, creating a product.
But that's
they're
still
very
a narrow
good with
field.
altogether. Yeah, but what I mean is in that. I mean, I know people like, even for example, me and you, where we're good at one of those things, and we'll get other people in to do the rest. So we've got infinite growth rate because we'll get experts in to fill each one of those sectors for us. And I think that's what limits internet marketers. It's just this whole pitch of it's you in front of a laptop and you run your life works if you're going to make $10,000 a month. Yeah. Right?
Yes. Well, yes, it does.
If you want to build a business.
Some people, it's difference between.
Well, we're talking about the 1%.
Yeah. Well, you've got the other issue that the guys have who don't actually get anywhere is a lot of the time it's a case of they're going to get, so it's
That's
a case of they're not looking at what they're giving. They're looking at what they can give as being. Sorry, it's one of my cats there deciding to meow. They're not looking at what what people desperately want. They're looking at what they can give. Yeah, and what they're failing to do is they're failing to work out what people desperately want. Because if they can go and work out what people desperately want and need, and they can give them that, then their success goes from mediocre to stratospheric very quickly, and it's a massive jump. But all the time, because they're going, well, if I can do this, therefore if I do that, then I can get all this money. So that's their primary desire is get.
They're getting, and their getting is limited by the amount of doing that they
exactly.
want.
You will only be rewarded directly to the proportion of wealth you create elsewhere. This has been spoken about throughout time. So it's a case. It's not something new. It's a case of you have to give. It's Napoleon Hill again said, if you want to create a lot of money, you just got to figure out how to give enough value to people. I can't remember the exact saying now, but the exact quote. But effectively, that's it. You have to figure out ways of helping people more. And the more you can help people, it's like what we're doing here. Yeah, we're not looking to get anything here. We're looking to give. So it's a case of we're just looking for ways to help. This is going to give. This isn't going to get. It's a case of nobody's paying our wages to be here.
Don't tell them we've got $1 million scholarship fund to do this. No, don't tell them that. That will ruin it.
That's the point. You go to give. Now, what value will this create? We don't know. We're just happy to give it because it's fun.
Yeah. It's fun for us, and the feedback of the show is amazing.
Yeah. So it's a case of, but we're going to give. Now, where will this lead? I don't know. But I know if I create more and more value for people, that the universe sort of conspires to give me stuff. That's how it works. So I go to give.
So I think, how do you think internet marketers can actually alleviate themselves of that limitation?
It goes back to what I said a minute ago. It's a case of they're looking at what they can give, whereas as opposed to what they need to give, what the people need.
Yeah, because the pitch is all based on you can make $10,000 a month from an island in Asia on your laptop, and I think that's the very negative part. You're not giving people their life purpose.
The realistic, my business partner Martin from Spain, he's been doing internet marketing since 1999. He has run multi-million-dollar online businesses. I can't say the niches he's in because he is a perfect internet marketer. He has no interest in the actual thing he does. He just basically is an expert at promoting it, an expert getting it together. And he said the problem is that internet marketing is basically it's hard, unless you can get to a certain level quite easily in certain things, but it's a case of to get the whole package together, to run it as a business rather than as a work from home hobby is actually hard. There's a lot of work that gets involved.
The thing is, most people
anything,
but most people don't want a business. What they want, I think people go into it with the wrong intention also. So if you're looking at internet marketing, just check yourself and find out what intention you're going in with to internet marketing with. Most people want some form of freedom, which means they're acting from a point of not having any freedom, right? Because if you want something, it means you don't already have it. But the universe is only going to give you exactly what your intention is. So if you're looking for freedom, it means you don't already have it. Therefore, you'll get more of looking for freedom. And I think people just go into the whole niche with the wrong mindset. What you should be going in there is, I look at internet marketing as a way to leverage the stuff that we're doing for investors.
Yeah, exactly. To me, internet marketing is a great way to test everything I do. It's the cheapest way there is to test it, and therefore I love it from that perspective. I'm not what I would consider an internet marketer. I use internet marketing techniques. And I've got a lot of friends who are marketers. I've got a lot of friends who are extremely successful marketers, and I've got a lot of friends who basically haven't managed to make more than $10 a week, sort of thing. And it's a case of, you can look at I could put them together and you can see the mindset differences. But I'd also know a few friends who are the top level of internet marketing who've actually managed to break loose of it and actually turn it into a proper business. And they literally number in less than 10 people that I could actually say, he's running a proper business now.
Less than 5 for me.
Well, I know a lot more people than you do. Something to do with my age.
I know.
Yeah.
You're just old.
No, that's
people,
is it?
You're accumulating people to come to your funeral.
And you're young and you're young and immature. Very good, that was a very good comment.
Hey, wisdom is not limited by age, you know that?
Unless it's in your case.
Right. Yeah, so I think that's, so if you're into internet marketing, just watch out for that, because we like to see people succeed. But internet marketing, I think, has a...
Yeah, and it can be done. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it can't be done at all, because I've done
We do it.
We've done it, yeah. It's a case of, you've got to go into it with the right attitude.
Yeah.
And the right attitude is go to give. And it's a case of, don't look, yes, you're going to be able to sit on your laptop and you can work from somewhere in the world, but if you want to build it into a proper business, you're going to need other people. It's a team sport, It's a case of learning to work with outsourcers. I mean, I've got 10 guys in the Philippines, so I've got the designers I use in India and that sort of thing. So we've got people from around the world that are working with us, because it's a case of, it's a team sport. It's not something that, you're just going to sit there and tap a few keys and then money flies out of the computer screen.
Wait, it's like for me to be able to come here and do this, I've got my team handling, and same for you. While we're doing this, we've got, like, my assistant Isabel will be managing everything that's going on with our business right now, and without her, it's like it wouldn't be happening.
No.
It just wouldn't be happening. So that you can't look at it as a one man job. By the way, did you know I was just while we're ending, because we're getting an
ending signal.
An ending signal which goes like this.
Means we're being boring.
Right. Well, you guys be the judge of that, right? If you guys say we're not boring, we could tell Pete that we're not boring, and then that would make him shut up. So you guys got to help us out now. Yeah. Did you know I was watching an interview with Sharon Lecter on Outwitting the Devil. And
very good book, by the way.
Yeah.
Mentioned that the other day, actually. Didn't I?
If you haven't got Outwitting the Devil, you're an idiot.
No,
go and buy it. Honestly,
I apologise.
It's the only book, right? No, honestly, I love it that much. I think it's better than Think and Grow Rich. I'll tell you why. Because
because you forgot what Think and Grow Rich says.
No. It's better than Think and Grow Rich, because Think and Grow Rich deals with creating a success mindset. But the problem is, the whole personal development niche right now that we're in has been drumming those principles into people's heads. So people already know that, right? They're not acting upon it because of what's in Outwitting the Devil. It's the fear element, right? So if you've been in personal development for more than 6 months, I think you know all the principles that are in Think and Grow Rich. You're not implementing them, but you're aware of them. With Outwitting the Devil, it just takes it to a whole new level. It removes all the fear and all the element, all the negative, all the dark side of your mindset. And I think that's important. But Sharon Lecter said, Napoleon Hill said the quote, for which president said, there's nothing to fear but fear itself?
Can't remember.
Well, whoever that president was, Napoleon Hill wrote the quote for that. Can you believe that? I didn't know that.
All right.
That was pretty interesting to me anyway. So Napoleon Hill has actually impacted so much of our lives and our inspiration. It's unbelievable. So that's what I was just thinking about yesterday when I was watching it. Now I'm going on. So
yes, you are.
I'm going on a little bit. All right. So
cool.
Have we not been as funny as we normally are in this?
Well, I don't know. I think I've been funny, but I don't know about you, obviously.
I've got self-esteem issues.
Pete's funny, because that's Pete's job to be funny.
Right. See you next time.
Thanks for watching.
Take care. Bye bye.